Hey, good to see you all. Who have we got here? I think we've got Reese and we've got Grace, I think. I'm not seeing any chat yet, so I'm not sure. That could be my problem too. I see someone saying hello, Scott. So Scott must be here. So hello, Scott. Wow. The screen looks a bit fuzzy, doesn't it? It's probably a bit of a dirty screen. How are we today? Happy Thursday if you're in Australia. It is 1:30 on Thursday afternoon. And this is the third Thursday live stream. Hello, Joy. Hello to all. This is Joy in Kansas, USA. And we have Escaping the Suburbs there with Scott. No idea why it wrote the question mark there. That was supposed to be an exclamation point. I love exclamation points. They're so awesome, aren't they? Mike's Adventure Sparks. Hello, my love. Welcome in. Oh, who's that? Who's that? Woodchucker Caleb, is it? Sorry, my eyes aren't the best, but welcome in. It is lovely to have you here. Hello, Laurie and Scott. Did I get your name right? I see all the faces there. How are we? Are you all well? So this is my third Thursday live. So I only did my very first live in October, and I was doing every second Tuesday. Hello, Sharon Sylvester. Welcome in. I hope you're having a lovely day. It's a good week off for you and that you're getting lots and lots of cleaning done, because I know you're trying to clean your house. Hello, Rushing Wind Mountain. Is that you, Rowdy? Welcome in, Rowdy. Well, it's my third Thursday live stream. I did my first ever live stream in October, so this is actually my 25th live stream. And what I was doing was I was doing every second Tuesday my time, and on a Tuesday we've sort of got into this habit that on a Tuesday we do a walk around the farm. But then I decided, like, I've got such a wonderful community, but I thought, well, if I can't just keep walking around the farm, I've got to introduce other things. So 3 weeks ago, I started doing a Thursday live stream. And the plan is that Tuesdays or Monday, if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, is a farm walk around. And Thursdays will be in the garden. And then every second Saturday, if I don't do a long form upload, I will do another live, and that's going to be based in the kitchen. So it could be everything from doing dishes to sorting cupboards to baking biscuits, cooking lunch. So the 3 live streams that I do each week are going to have a rough theme to them. And this is supposed to be garden day. But I'll be honest, I've got a little bit of a headache. So I'm not sure how much gardening we're going to get done. My fridge died last night. A very inconvenient time to have it die. And it was a big fridge, and it's a 2-door fridge freezer thing. And so my daughter and I were up till about 1 o'clock in the morning trying to find places to put everything from this fridge because it's not working anymore. And it sounds like the part we need, this fridge has broken down a few times over the years. We pretty much know what's wrong with it, and every time we need to buy a part it takes 5 weeks to come in, and then there's no guarantee. So it's just lack of sleep, because we were up so late trying to not lose all the food, trying to store it in other fridges and other freezers, and cooking things to try and preserve them. And then of course I get up at 5:30 in the morning, having not gone to bed till 1, and I'm like, ugh. I do, but everything's breaking down at the moment, woodchucker. I mean, everything. Since November, we've had the solar system break down. I've had the car break down. I've had the ride-on mower broke down, and now the fridge. So it's just everything on the property is getting older, and that's something that you find with homesteading. Things get older, including us, and things start to go wrong. Joshua Sickles, welcome in. And how are you feeling, Mike? I have to ask because I remember you said the other day that you got bitten by a dog or something. Is that right? Scott, I hope you didn't lose a lot of meat and produce and dairy. I have lost some meat. There was a limit to how much I could manage to squeeze into other freezers. And so that's why we were up very late cooking things. Dairy, lost a bit of dairy, not too much. It could have been a lot worse. I mean, I know it's a horrible thing, losing a fridge like that, especially when you're trying to live sort of semi-self-sufficiently, which is what we're doing. I don't just pop down to the supermarket once a week and do a grocery shop. I do a grocery shop like twice a year. And if we're a particularly affluent year, we might even do it 3 times. But for the most part, everything that we eat and we drink is grown here. You know, we have our own eggs, our own dairy. Red meat is venison from the property. And I sell eggs to my neighbours as well when I can, and I get about $37 a month or thereabouts, and I can use that $37 a month to buy the things that we can't grow, like toilet paper and certain you know, laundry and dishwashing products and things like that. So the things that I do have to buy from a supermarket, I try to earn from selling the eggs. So look, it could have been a lot worse. I'm grateful that I discovered the problem in time to actually do something about it. So yeah. It would have been awful if I'd sort of hadn't noticed for 3 days or something, you know, and by then it was too late to save anything. But I've just realised what I don't have here is my hat. Where did I put my hat, folks? Hang on, I think I know where it is. Give me just a couple of seconds. I'll go get my hat, and then we might go for a little bit of a walk. I was going to do some pruning, and then once we've done that, I was going to go through my big, well, it's back to front, but that does actually say seeds. So I was going to go through my big bag of seeds and have a bit of a sort through, and I thought we could all have a little bit of input into what we might grow in the new vegetable garden that we're going to be setting up in the next 4 weeks. So let me just get my hat, and we'll make a start, shall we? So give me a moment. All right, I have my hat. There we are. But listen, before I do that though, I know this is supposed to be like a gardening segment, but there are a lot of people in the chat I see at the moment who have not actually seen the farm before. So before I do that, would you like me to take you out and have a look at the view and meet some of the animals and things before we get into looking at seeds and talking about veggie gardens? Would you like me to do that? You let me know. Hopefully I've turned the chat off again. It's a season, it'll pass. Yes, for sure. Holla, welcome in. Welcome in. Fantasy Waves, welcome in. I'm sorry, I've accidentally turned the chat off, so I'm just catching up. Joshua, would love to visit Australia but can't. Oh, well, thank you for listening, though. I really appreciate that. That's amazing. Everything must be ultra fresh. Yeah, yeah. Look, we try. We try to eat what's in season more often than not. What's a Daniel? Oh no, there's some strange joke here that I'm not across. Granny Southern Corner, welcome in, my love. As long as you don't melt, it's probably 100. At the moment, it is about 24 Celsius. I'm not 100% sure what that is in Fahrenheit. But you've got to remember, I'm up in the mountains too, so it's generally a lot cooler up here. There are 3 times a year going grocery shopping. Yeah, I go to Aldi and I do a really big grocery shop about 3 times a year. I try and buy everything in bulk. So like bulk flour, I'll go and buy 20 kilos of bread flour and, a 20-kilo bag of sugar or salt or whatever. And then I decant them into big plastic bins. And I mean, the last time I bought a 20-kilo, I'm still going on the 20 kilos of sugar and salt that I bought like 3 years ago. It'll probably take me a good decade to get through it all. But it's cheaper to buy things in bulk. So, whoops, hang on. Oops, what have I done? No, go away. Get rid of that. Okay. Hang on. Scott says, Susan, do you know I have the exact same? Do you? And it's got a little thingy at the back there so that you don't sunburn the back of your neck. And this one's detachable too. So you can actually take that off if you want to. Really good hats. Susan, Daniel is from DJ Outdoors channel and he does his live stream. He always gets up to do something to show. Yeah. Oh, I do too, Scott, because I'm so fair. Woodchuck says 75 Fahrenheit. Well, see, that's not too bad. Shoot. So, look, I didn't get to catch up with everything in the chat, but I'm just going to put my battery pack in my pocket. Ace, my dear, welcome in. It's supposed to be a gardening day, Ace, but we are going to do a bit of gardening, but there's so many people here who have not been here before, and so they haven't seen animals. And so I sort of thought, well, I'll do a little bit of a farm walk around, not a huge farm walk around, mind you, and just show veggie garden or flower gardening. Today was going to be, and I should actually turn you around so you can see. All right, there's a weeping cherry. But at the moment, we're heading to have a look at these cows. I've been doing a bit of tidying up, Scott, around this side of the house. So last week, we were pruning, and we pruned that bush there and that bush there, and they were up over the gutter. So I've cut them down to a level that they're going to be more manageable. And I tidied along there. And then over the next few days, I've got to get the hedge trimmer and trim that and trim this. And then this bit will sort of be done. But I've got to do a bit of flower gardening stuff, but I've also got to do some veggie stuff. And this, folks, is my cows. It is lovely to sit out on the porch, yes. Yes. And like out here, there's no light pollution. So I can sit on my veranda and not see a single light, unless of course it's the moon or the stars. Hello, darling. Hello, Storm. Hello, Storm. Hello. Hello, Okies Eden. Welcome in. Oh, here comes Thunderhoof. Thunderhoof's the one with the black head. Hello, Thunderhoof. Hello, my dear. Thunderhoof can be a very temperamental cow. Hello. So here's some of my cows. So that one over there is Blaze. That one, the black one. And then this one here is Pickles. And then that one up there is Penguin. And then you can see a little brown splodge over there. That's actually my Jersey cow, the house cow, Dot. And this big white one is Ernie the bull. What type of cows are they? Okay, they're actually, the Jersey cow, the brown one, is a Jersey cow. She's the house cow. The black one, where is her? That black one over there is the Jersey cow's calf from like 4 years ago, and she is part Dexter. So when I got Dot, Dot had just given birth to her, so I got the cow and calf as a combo. But all the others are British white, even though they're not in fact all white. This one here in the middle, that's Panda. He's a steer, and he's a big escape artist, aren't you? Hello, hello. They're trying to work out if they can eat my phone. Hey, Thunderhoof. What have you got there? What are you eating? Look at that. Look at that. Aren't they gorgeous? Well, you may not think they're gorgeous, but they are. Oh, look, there's our 3 calves. So that little calf walking there, if you've seen some of my videos, hello, Thunderhoof. That is Clover, and she was the first calf to be born and bred, or bred and born on this property. And she was born, oh gee, was it just prior to Christmas, I think? And then the second calf was that one, that's Domino, a little boy. And then this one was the third calf to be born, and another boy. And his mum is this one here, Thunderhoof. She's called Thunderhoof because she likes to charge at people. So I've got to be very careful when I go into the paddock. Some days she totally ignores me, other days she like runs at me, and then you've got to learn to sidestep at the last minute. But Thunderhoof's child is in fact White Thunder, and that's White Thunder. The plan is to keep White Thunder as a bull calf. So yeah, there's 2 of the little calves. I was expecting 6, but to date we've only had 3. Dot, the Jersey cow, I thought was pregnant, but somewhere along the line she clearly must have lost it early on. Oh, look, still got some pears. Do any of you folks grow pears? What do you do with them? Oh, they look yummy too. Still a bit firm. Not ready yet. I've got lots of nectarines. The peaches have done their thing now. And now we've got nectarines, and pears are coming. So I can see some jams and jellies and things in my future. Look at that. Isn't that a pretty picture? Pears and cows. It doesn't get much better than that. And I'll show you the view. Oh no, I'm so sorry. I've turned the chat off again. Alexander Lapp, welcome in. I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. The one in the shade is the smart one. Oh, the calf, you mean? Yes, yes. So let me just catch up. You have pears on your place in North Florida. What do you do with your pears, Granny? And what do you do with your pears, Scott? Oh, chunky chocolate chip and pecan cookies. That sounds awesome. You can them or pickle them, and they're not... Actually, I have fermented them once a few years ago. I think I got 1 canned pears left. See, that's the cows. Over there you can see a little bit of the view. Jam or chutney. I love chutneys. I mean, I like jams as well, but I think I love chutneys more. Oh, it scared me. I thought it was a snake. It was a blue-tongued lizard. Blue-tongued lizards are quite big and loud when you approach them unexpectedly. So today I was going to prune this huge bush here on the corner of the house, this one, but because I am feeling somewhat headachy, I don't know if I actually will. I think a bowl of ice cream with a pear would be good. Yeah, what, fresh pears you think, Woodchuck, or would you have stewed? I think the yeah, take in the view. I think the one I have left is stewed. It's like spiced. There's all like different spices in with it as well. I like pears too, don't forget me. I won't forget you, Josh. I'm glad you like pears. Pears are very nice. I wish I could holler, but it ran under the house. I didn't see it there. If I had, I would have been able to, but it was I didn't become aware of it until it sort of took off. So it was sitting in here. When I approached the stairs, it ran in and went under the house. I do have a couple of shorts on my channel somewhere that show a blue-tongued lizard, and we might see some more. I've just got to be mindful. Oops, sorry, don't mind me, I'm tripping on stuff. So it is now autumn here in Australia, and I must say I'm rather glad. So this is the view from the front of the house. We've got a wraparound veranda, and you can see there's no towns, there's no neighbours, and so at night time it is pitch black. You cannot see a single light, and it's fantastic. Just lots of stars and moonlight. This is my big grapevine that's got somewhat out of control. In the autumn, well, it is autumn, isn't it? But I'm going to put something up here from there to there, and I'm going to grow the grapevine down here. But isn't it a pretty view? So let us go and look at some seeds. I don't know why my chat isn't scrolling. White-tailed deer love to eat pears that fall from the trees. Yeah, I think that look, white-tailed deer like to eat everything. In between thumb and pointer finger, the piece of meat between the... Oh, yes, it does. I have tried that in the past. And Granny's saying add a pinch of salt to that water Scott suggested. Yeah. All right. So we're going to skip the gardening. I'm so sorry. It was either that or cancel the live stream altogether. And I thought, well, I can't do that. It's only my third Thursday. It is. It's a lovely spot. It's very cool out here in summer, which is what you want, really. You want it to be cool in summer. And then out there you could see the trees and you can see some cows maybe. But we were going to have a look at some seeds. Yeah, I know. But we can talk about gardening. And, whoops, says I as I hurl my sunglasses. Let me pick them up or else I'll step on them. So I'm getting a new garden built. I keep saying this because I figure that if I do, it actually holds me to it. It's a pressure point. Yes, it's here, I believe. Is that right? Today I got to see cows and pears and say it was a good day. Yes, that's it. Yeah, I do. I need some silver. You're quite right. But I'm having a new veggie garden created, and it's going to be quite a big one. I'm even going within the veggie garden. I'm going to be building, and this is all over the course of the next sort of 6 months. I'm going to try and build my own greenhouse. I did have another greenhouse, you know, those ones, the cheap ones you can buy, and it gets really windy up here because I'm on top of a hill, and it blew away in a storm one night. Just disappeared, never found it again. I don't know where it went, it just went. I did find a few pots in the paddock, in the pasture, but we never actually did find the greenhouse. So I'm going to build a greenhouse, and I'm going to use T-posts and put pipe over them, like in Australia we call it poly pipe, to create the framework, and then I'm going to enclose it in plastic and make a greenhouse out of it. Yeah, it did. It just disappeared. But you know, it happens. So I'm going to put a little greenhouse in there, and that'll be like, oh gee, I don't know, maybe 4 meters by 2.5 meters, just a small one for my starts. Up here in the high country where I am, we get snow in winter, and we also have a very short growing season. So I need to sort of start everything in a greenhouse or else it just doesn't happen. So I'm going to build a half decent one. I also want to try and build a berry house for blueberries and blackberries and raspberries and strawberries. I love strawberries so much. But yeah, a special berry house so that the birds can't get to them. And also the blue-tongued lizards, which Holla really wanted to look at, but I buggered that right up. Blue-tongued lizards love berries. I mean, they love all fruit. I mean, what animal doesn't love fruit? There might be animals out there that love fruit, but I don't know what that would be. But yeah, so it would keep the fruit, the berries, away from the blue-tongued lizards. And in the berry house, it's going to be a raised garden. I'm also going to have a bed for wheat, because I make my own bread, and I want to have a go at growing some wheat and actually trying to make, even if it's just one loaf of bread, but making a batch of my own flour and making bread from that flour. But it's just behind me, the spot where I want to do the new vegetable garden. So do you want me to take you out and show you the space? I'll take you out and show you the space. Oh, I'm not really. I'm not really. But I try. I mean, I'm learning. I'm always learning. And that's the great thing about life, isn't it? Every day I wake up, and that in itself is a wonderful thing. But every day I learn something. Hello, Paul. Yes, let's go. Okay, so let me take you out and I'll show you the space where this new garden's going to go. And your job, folks, is to keep me accountable. So you all need to make sure that I actually stay on track with the plans to get the garden going, because it's very easy to get distracted. I was going to do this last autumn, and here we are, and it's still not done. So am I going to cut the wheat with a scythe? Well, I do have a scythe. Have you seen the scythe, Alexander? You probably have. The scythe hangs on the side of in the house. When I do my Saturday indoor lives, in my kitchen I have a wood stove. And on the side of the wood stove, on the side of the chimney, the wood stove is set into a chimney like in an ingle nook. And on the side of that ingle nook, I have a big scythe hanging. So I could use the scythe to cut the wheat. All right, so there's the house. There is a set of steps there. You can't really see it very well at the moment because it's all overgrown. And it's overgrown because being summer, I've had the blinds down. So I'm not really using these steps. And as a result, it's all got a bit overgrown around this side. But there's a gate. You go through the gate. I see someone is asking if Holla is a lady name. Is that right? Is it? Thank you, Paul. I'm incredibly blessed. I mean, it's not without its problems, don't get me wrong. Especially these last few months with everything breaking down. Everything's just getting old. All right, so veggie garden. So if I step back here further, get a bit of perspective. So you can see in front, well, over here, there's all electric fences. So all around here, we've all got electric fences around all the paddocks to keep all the sheep. This paddock has sheep in it. The other paddock, we have the cows that you saw. But then just around the house and the garden, we've got this wooden fence, and it goes down there and it goes along in front of the house. And now I've got some T-posts. You can see this one just here. You're confused. So yeah, this is, in Australia we call these star pickets, but I think you may call them T-posts in the Northern Hemisphere. And you can see I've got two more there. Yeah, I understand everything getting old and falling apart. Yes, me and the farm, unfortunately. So the plan is, we've got this T-post here. You can see the wooden fence, and it ends there, and at that point it goes round the front of the house. You see it going off that way. So the fence, which clearly is the first thing to go in, is going to go from the corner of that wooden fence there, and it's going to come along here to this T-post. And that's a fair distance. You know, like you could see it's a fair way. So that's going to be like the depth of the garden. And then it's going to go from here all the way along to the next T-post, which is here. And then the next one, which is just there. And I think it's actually, so it's going to come all the way along from here, and then it's going to go back that way and join up with that wooden fence. So it's quite a big area. That there is going to be a garden bed. Needs to be tidied up a bit because a cow got into it. That's why the edges are all mangled. And it's directly in line with the gate, which is directly in line with the centre of the house, and it's all symmetric. But this, in a couple of months, is going to be, we call them a cheap post. Yeah, I'm hearing you. It is a big area, but the thing is, we're trying to be self-sufficient. We're trying not to have to buy food. And the veggie garden I've got is just too small, and there's too many fruit trees that are starting to encroach upon the area where the old veggie patch used to be. And so I'm just not getting enough food from them. We could do better anyway. Look at these apples. So this is a Jonathan apple. It's supposed to be a dwarf, and I put it in last year. So it's doing quite well. And the idea is that around the perimeter of the new garden will be dwarf fruit trees. But I can only afford a couple of trees a year. I don't have a huge amount of money. So I've got that Jonathan apple. Over here I've got planted a Granny Smith, which was meant to be the green apple. And it had apples on it, but I think something's clearly got in here and eaten them all, which is a shame. But then along this fence line, once it's in, I'm going to be planting apricots and pears and all sorts of fruits. I know what T-posts are, but the majority of people I meet don't know what they are or how to drive them into the ground. Yeah, they can be hard. I have a T-post driver. Or a star picket driver, and it's sort of a metal tube. So for people that don't know what we're talking about, you have like a metal tube, and it's sort of blocked at one end, and the tube goes over the top of your post. In Australia, our T-post or star picket drivers have a handle on either side, and you just have to like lift it up and down, and you just hammer it in with both hands. It can be a fair effort, especially if you're doing it in summer when the ground is hard. But this is the space which will be the veggie garden. Put some blueberry in too. I love blueberries, yes. Oh, I'm definitely going to be putting in blueberries. Looks great, looking healthy. Yeah. It really is. It's a lovely spot. Yeah, I wouldn't mind some, I want to get some proper Granny Smith. Yes, Granny Smith are cooking apples, but I would love to get probably another apple if I can, and I've got to do a little bit of research to see what I can find, but I'd like to get a proper crab apple. And the crab apples, of course, were your real cooking apples. But yeah, so it's going to be quite a big garden. And so within it, I'm going to have all the garden beds, or most of the garden beds will be raised. And that is because, one, I'm getting older, folks. And I mean, I just can't, I want to enjoy gardening. And having to get down on my hands and knees and, heaven forbid, get up again. You know, I mean, getting up is harder than getting down there. But I want to enjoy the gardening process. And if that means, a little statue in there, having raised garden beds, so be it. But having raised garden beds also means that little critters like rabbits and wombats, the Australian wombat, folks, and things like that are less likely to get into the garden and eat my food. So easier for me to work and easier for saving your harvest from the animals. And of course it'll be fenced off as well. Right, hat off, I'll turn you back around. So I hope you enjoyed that little wander. Do I have a well? I don't have a well, no. We do have springs on the property, natural springs that like bubble up out of the ground. And I have rainwater tanks. When we were looking at the cows, you may have noticed that there was a hay shed off in the distance there. And the hay shed has a 20,000 litre water tank, which harvests rain from the roof when it rains. I also have one of the springs which will pump up to it if we are going through a dry patch and there's no rain. Behind all the sheds over here, I've got another two 20,000 litre water tanks. And then in the bush, next to one of the springs, I've got another one. So there's 60, 70, 80,000 litres of water in tanks, which isn't a huge amount, but it's enough. So we have seeds. So yes, and I was going to plant wheat and have a go at growing and harvesting and thrashing wheat, and I thought that would be good fun. Wow, this screen must be so filthy. I'm so sorry. What kind of crabapple am I looking for? I'm not entirely sure. There's a few different varieties that are available. I've been trying to buy only heritage varieties with my fruit, but I'm also trying to use to get dwarf stock as well, because the big fruit trees at the back, I can't reach the fruit. I prune them, and then the following year they don't fruit because I pruned them, and then the following year again they've put on more growth and they fruit beautifully, and then I can't reach it because it's got up too high. Sometimes I use a long-handled garden tool to help stand up. Yeah, I think we're all at that stage now, Alexander. So, folks, autumn is upon us. Hello, Brook Trout. How are you today? I hope you had a good day at work. We've been out looking at the space where the new veggie garden's going to go. We think we need to bring back carrying walking staffs. Yeah, for sure. You can make some fantastic looking walking staff. So, and I do have one somewhere. I think it's actually in the woodshed. But yeah, put some like an amethyst on it and paint some nice designs and wrap some copper wire, or else you just get a stick, don't you? So peoples, let's have a look at what we've got in the seeds. Well, for a start, we've got a very big bag of sunflowers, and I love sunflowers, but autumn clearly is not the time to be planting them. So tell me, folks, those of you who are gardeners, what do you plant in autumn? It's early autumn here. Our winter is generally snowy. It's quite cold up here in the Alpine region, but I will be starting things in the greenhouse. And I have a little greenhouse just on the veranda out the front. It's like 2 meters by 1 meter. I wonder why the screen's, you know, I cleaned the screen before I came out. Oh, lots of little sunflowers. Lots and lots of little sunflowers. Are they sunflowers? They're very small if they're sunflowers. Not to say they're not. Hang on, what's this one? Yes, indeed. That's what's left of a sunflower. All right, well, clearly we're not going to be planting sunflowers. And we do like to stay self-sufficient. So what do you grow? I have here... Oh, let's have a look. Oh, and of course, everything I'm grabbing out is spring stuff, and it's all flowers. So we've got, oh my God, what are they called? Sweet peas. We've got sweet peas, so I'm not going to be planting sweet peas. I've got borage, I've got cosmos. Here you can plant early autumn garden of salad greens, and then early winter plant garlic. Yes, I've got to get the garlic in. Quite right, Joy. All right, garlic it is. We've got Alison, we've got echinacea, very good for colds, but wrong season. Calendula. Ah, lettuce. Now, lettuce is great for growing year-round, so I do think that I should keep these lettuce out. This is a brand called Mr. Fothergill's, and the lettuce are called Great Lakes. So they're not like a pick and come again lettuce. It has like a big head, like a cabbage. So I think we'll plant some of those. We'll get them started in the greenhouse on the front veranda. French marigolds, awesome stuff. Maybe not so much for the veggie garden, or not in winter at least. Cauliflowers. Oh, I love cauliflower. Now let's have a look here. Yeah, autumn, I thought so. So, what do you reckon, folks? Cauliflower? You know what I love about cauliflower? Hello, Easy Street with Jen. Welcome in, my love. Oh, and someone suggested, oh, Alexander, winter peas in the fall. Yep, okay. Lollipop is, hang on. Let me have a look. Lollipop is one of the best true dwarf crab apples for smaller yards and warm climates, like parts of Australia. All right, I'll look that one up. Thank you. And Joy is saying there is a type of wheat that you plant in autumn and then harvest it about 7 months later. It's called hard red winter wheat. Not sure if it's available over here, but we'll find out. Alexander likes beets. Well, I like cauliflower. I like beets too. But cauliflower, when COVID happened, okay, I was working 2 days a week at a shop in town, and as the restrictions came in and people were no longer able to go out as freely as they had done, and the clientele stopped coming into the store and the staff was slowly let go, and I was one of those people. And I had always intended to try and become fully self-sufficient, but that sort of forced my hand, I suppose you could say. How far is the town? My nearest town is a 45-minute drive away. Especially by the time I get down my driveway is 1.5 kilometers in length. And I've got to keep getting out and opening and shutting gates. And then I go a bit further and I open and shut the next gate. Hey, Gina. Hello, Susan. I hope I'm right with your name, dear. You are indeed. I hope I got yours right, Mrs. G. So yes, COVID and losing my job sort of forced my hand, and I was thinking, well, okay, I can grow. Yes, that's right. I'm on Dora's Live quite a lot. I can grow a lot of fruit and a lot of veg, but there's certain things, like rice, for instance, or pasta. Now, I've since learned how to make pasta with varying degrees of success, but rice, I don't have rice paddies up here, and we do have a few rice dishes. And then I discovered cauliflower rice. So I don't know if any of you have ever had cauliflower rice. You can also make broccoli rice or a mixture of the two. But basically, you grow your cauliflower, or you buy it, and then you break all the little florets off them, all the little trees, and I put them in the blender or food processor, but I don't own a food processor, and you just pulse it a few times, and it breaks your cauliflower up into little sort of rice size pieces, and it cooks so quickly. And the great thing about cauliflower, like I now make fried rice but with cauliflower, and it's healthier, of course, eating a vegetable instead of rice. And I still love my rice, of course, but making rice dishes with cauliflower is better for you. And the great thing is that I can actually grow the cauliflower, whereas I cannot grow rice. So we're definitely planting cauliflower. Now, I saw there that Alexander was talking about beets. So it's amazing how completely different the seasons are. You're going into spring, yes. Yeah, you can do so much. That's right, Holly, you can. You can do so much with cauliflower. So see, this is the other type of lettuce where you can just pick individual leaves. You don't need to pick like a whole head of lettuce. So I think we'll plant some of those. Jen says she grows cabbage, cilantro, root vegetables, broccoli, parsnips, lettuce, kale, shallots, spring onion, and spinach. Oh, I love spinach. Love spinach. We've had lots of freezers, ice, and snow. Okay. And they're just out in the open, are they, Jen? Have you got them covered to keep frost and things off? Swedes. I want to grow Swedes because I love making Cornish pasties. And a lot of the pasties, you go to a bakery or something and you buy a Cornish pasty and there's carrot in it. They're not supposed to have carrot in them. And I think what's confused a lot of people is when you cook Swede, it turns orange. And so I think over the years, a lot of people they've gone into their local bakery or supermarket and they've bought a pasty and they've bitten into it and they see the onion and the potato. Some people put peas into them and then they see these little orange things and think, oh, it's carrot. But it's not supposed to be carrot. It's meant to be Swede. And I like to make my own Cornish pasties up here. And in my pasties, when I make them, I'll make like about 8 of them. And we'll have one each for dinner that night. And then the rest get squirreled away into the freezer. And the ingredients I put in my pasties, I just have potato, onion, swede, not carrot, and for the red meat, I use venison, which has come from the property here. So our own sort of wild venison, which have been hunted. So really, the entire contents of the pasties are grown here, because I do try and grow onions and potatoes when I can as well. So what do you reckon? Should we grow swede? I think we should grow swede. And look, there you go, Alexander. There's the beets. I think we can plant some beets. What do you think? And I've got parsnip. Although I've never had much luck with parsnip. I seem to have a lot of trouble getting them to germinate. So who was it? Was that you, Jen, that said that you grow parsnips? Potatoes grow good in Arizona. They're easy. Yeah, I love growing potatoes. I like to grow the purple skinned potatoes if I can. And also purple skinned potatoes are reputedly have a lot more antioxidants and good things growing within the skin of them as well. So if you have to eat a potato, I believe that the purple skinned ones are just a smidge healthier than the white skinned ones. But yeah, so who amongst you grows parsnip? And I have a lot of trouble getting them to germinate. Maybe this year what I should do is actually lash out and try and buy some special seed growing mix for them, because I don't mind parsnip, but they're so expensive to buy. You know, you go out and you buy a bunch of carrots, for instance, and I know carrots are still cheap. I think they're like $1.99 for a bunch of carrots, and then you buy a single parsnip, one parsnip, it's like $5 or $6. You think, goodness me. But I can't get them to germinate. They're sort of my kryptonite. That's the word I'm after. They're my kryptonite. I cannot grow parsnips. Once again, I have missed the chat. Let's have a look here. Yes, see, Brook Trout knows what I mean. I have to have... How do you even say that? Rutabaga, is that right? Because I know you guys say it differently. Over here we call them swedes. And I know we're talking about the same vegetable. It's just a different name. But yeah, you do. Yay for beets. Oh, yes. I love them baked or pickled. You know what I also do with beets? In spring, if I'm absolutely drowning under eggs for my chickens. Now I sell some of my eggs, and then I always put aside about 100 eggs, which I preserve in, I preserve the eggs by water glassing them. I've got a big bowl of them in the laundry, and they will be our eggs when the chickens stop laying in winter, when it starts to snow, and they're already starting to slow down. I'll have access to the eggs that were laid in early spring, which I have stored in the laundry. But when I have even more eggs, I hard boil them and I pickle them in beetroot juice. And it's absolutely incredible, because when you cut into your hard-boiled pickled egg, and it just looks like a normal hard-boiled egg, and then the whole edge of it is like bright pink or purple, you know, bright purple. And it really does add a whole different element to my pickled eggs. Oh yes, I definitely make pasties. They are known as Yupa. Is that how you say it? Yupa food, Yoppa food. You know, I've never had them just boiled with butter. So do you mash it, Joy, like with a potato, like mashed potato, but you do it with swede instead? And then you add butter to it? Is that how you have them, or do you have them like you quarter them and have them quartered? And could anyone tell me how we grow these? Pastry shop. Oh, nice. Oh, you folks, you're making me hungry. Now we have pickling gherkins, but I think it's sort of the wrong. Oh, look, let's have a look at the back of the pack. Yeah, no, not in Australia. You see a little map of Australia and it says, no, I'm in the purple zone there. And it is no good. Pickling gherkins are no good for that zone. So that can go over there. Then we have peas, and lots of them. I love peas. The only problem with peas I find is that I love them straight off the plant. Now, for those of you that grow your own peas, honestly, you must have all experienced it when you go out into the garden and you see a pea pod and you pick it off and you open it up and you've got all the little peas sitting there, and they're so sweet and they're so beautiful. And I tend to walk around the garden and I just pick them and eat them as I go, and then I end up with not a lot of peas left. Oh, you're going, woodchucker? Woodchucker Caleb. Well, look, thank you so much for coming in. I really appreciate you being here, and I hope you have a lovely evening. He's saying, have a good day, everyone. Now, Jen says, I grew parsnips in poor soil with lots of blood meal and water. All right, I'm going to give it another go, Jen. I'm going to give it another go, and we'll see how we go with it. You take care, Caleb. And we'll plant peas. All right, so we're going to have a lot of stuff growing in this little veggie, in this little greenhouse. Now, who loves this stuff? In Australia, we call it silver beet, but it's chard. Alexander says, people from Michigan are Yoopers from Upper Peninsula or trolls in the Lower Peninsula. Okay, see, I've learned something. Didn't I say every day you learn something? Are you going to bed, CL? Thank you very much for coming in, my love. I hope you sleep well and you have a nice, snug, safe evening and a lovely day tomorrow. So who grows rainbow chard? I am definitely planting some of that. Such a versatile thing. Oh, zucchinis. Love my zucchinis. But autumn is not the time to be planting them. So we'll put those aside. And there's my carrots. Your parents are Yoopers. You're probably all laughing at me. Am I saying that correctly? Yoopers? Got to have some carrots in, don't we? Nasturtiums. And I can't grow nasturtiums in autumn or winter. And look, more sunflowers. But they're all the bought seeds. Never give up. I had success with cilantro for the first time this year. It loves the cold weather. It loves the cold weather, but it is for salsa and summer harvest. Okay. You know, cilantro is one thing I've never actually tried growing, Jen. I really should. I really should give it another go. Ah, spinach. Great in summer. And I've actually got spinach. Oh, have I? Maybe I've run out. No, I don't have any now because the fridge died. But I freeze spinach. But what I do is I put the spinach leaves out on a big tray and I freeze them flat, and I like snap freeze them. So once they've been in the freezer for like an hour, I take them back out of the freezer, and then I bundle them all together in a little bag. Whereas if you actually bundle them all in a bag straight away, what happens is when you defrost them, they go all soggy and they all meld together into a clump. So the trick with freezing spinach is to freeze it on a tray first, flat, with none of the leaves touching. And once they're frozen, then you can combine them. And they stay like that. You can put them in a bag, and you can open your bag and take out a few leaves if that's all you need. But yeah, that was how I was taught to freeze spinach. And it's a really good way of doing it. The perpetual leaf spinach is a good one. But I bought this one called Viking. It's awful. It's awful. Every year, and it's even past its best by date now, but I keep trying because what have I got to lose? But I've planted these 3 years in a row, and every year I get a single spinach plant, just the one. So, and I think next year I'll just dump the lot, and if they grow, they grow, and if they don't, they don't. All right, well, we've got hollyhocks, yellow bell peppers, garlic chives. I could probably plant some more chives. And I've got leeks, more hollyhocks, red capsicum, or bell peppers as you call them in the northern hemisphere. I got those from the supermarket actually. I needed to buy a bell pepper or a capsicum, and well, I always save the seeds, I can't help myself. And dill is such a pretty plant, so lacy and feathery, and goes so well with fish and pickles, of course, if you're doing dill pickles. Do any of you grow dill? You think I should grow some dill? Probably need to wait for the weather to get a bit warmer though, don't we? So I think that's actually, you know, we've still got a full bag of seeds, but I reckon that's probably going to be enough to get on with. More onion chives. Artichoke. I might be able to plant another artichoke. But I reckon we've got quite a good selection there. And what we can do, maybe next Thursday, is we'll get some pots together and we'll start planting some. What do you reckon? I think that is a good idea. What's your favourite vegetable? Let's see if we can... Okay, Alexander says, my son is going to college in Marquette and he really likes it up there. What a great tip. Oh, yeah. Yeah, no, it will work well with cilantro. I also do it with parsley. Any of those sort of delicate, sort of leafy vegetables or herbs, you freeze them flat, and then once they're frozen, then you combine them. I actually also do it with avocado. Avocado does not grow in the area where I am, and so it's very expensive. And every now and again, some of my neighbours who go into town, they might just happen to hit the supermarket on a day where there's a glut of avocados being sold cheap, and they'll give me a call and say, do you want some avocados? And they'll bring me up a bag of like 5 or 6. And of course, I can't use 5 or 6 straight away. So what I do with the avocado is what I do with the spinach. I'll cut into the avocado, I will cut it up into little cubes, and I'll put it on a big tray, put it into the freezer, and then once it's all frozen, I take it out of the freezer, and then everything that was on that tray, which is usually like 1 or 2 avocados, I'll put into a freezer bag. And then they don't stick because they were frozen when they were put in the bag together. So freezing avocado also works really well. Well worth giving a go if you have a need to freeze avocado. If you suddenly end up with a massive glut of avocados, that's how I preserve avocados. I've probably lost a few because the fridge dying, but hang on a tick. Let me see if, hang on, I'm still here. I'm just seeing, I've got another little freezer here. Avocado, is that avocado? Celery. Okay, I'm coming back. So this here is backwards, but it's avocado that was frozen on the 9th of September. So this isn't a whole one, clearly, but you can see I've got this little bits of avocado in there. Now they're the tiniest bit brown. I don't know how well you can see that, but that's because it was the tiniest bit brown when I actually froze it. But these are all little bits of avocado. Whoops. So you just chop it up into these little cubes and you put them on a tray, and then once they're frozen, you just put them all in a bag like this, a freezer bag, and then you get a little, like a takeaway food container, pop it in the container because they can still get a bit of freezer burn. Oh, good night, Mike. You take care. I hope you sleep well and stay warm. So yeah, so once they're frozen, I put them in a bag and I put them in a little container. I mark what the container is, what the contents is, and the date. And that's the exact same thing I do with spinach and parsley. I will, once the tray has frozen, I put them in a freezer bag, and then the bag goes into one of these containers, and then again I write on the edge what it holds. So it's a fantastic way. There's so many, you know, like things like spinach and avocado and things. Many people, not everyone of course, but many people don't realize that you can in fact freeze those items. And it's all about getting the right technique with the freezing. But yeah, I think most things can be frozen if you sort of take a bit of time to work out the best way to do it. Let me just put this back. It's the camp freezer out of the car. I haven't used it for a couple of years, so I'm glad it started up again, because we really need it now, because it's got half the contents from the inside fridge. But yeah, so there we go. Well, look folks, we've made a plan, haven't we? The man's meant to be coming to do the fence with a wood board or cardboard. What are we talking about, brook trout? Ah, okay. Jen's talking about something that Alexander said. Let me just have a look. Can you substitute pears for avocados? Do Jen enjoys all vegetables. That's good. That's good. Are you going to bed, Joy? I hope you sleep well. Stay warm, stay safe, and have a wonderful day tomorrow. So we've made a plan. We've got a plan. So yes, the man's meant to be coming to do the fencing in about 3 or 4 weeks. I suppose that depends on how much it's going to cost me to either repair or buy a new fridge. But shall I take you? Because again, I think we've got a few people here who weren't here before. Shall we go on another walk? We'll go out the front, sit on the other side of the veranda, and look at the view and while away a bit of time there. So Jen likes all vegetables. This is a good thing. And it's a rare thing too. Look, that's, oh no, you can't see it. Hang on to it. This falling down thing here is my little greenhouse where I start my seeds. It's not looking too good at the moment. This one blew away as well. But when it did, the frame broke. But it still works. And I'm going to have a go at repairing it too. Just a bit of duct tape or gaffer tape. And there's that wonderful view again. But I'm going to have a go at repairing it. So the vegetable seeds that we've just looked at, I'm going to be planting them and starting them off in that little greenhouse. Now we're going to be quiet here in case Blue Tongue Lizard is back. I'm not seeing him. No, I don't think he has come back. No, he hasn't come back. So I'm going to be starting all those seeds and I'll put them in little itty bitty containers and we'll put them in that greenhouse on the veranda. The good thing about starting them off in the veranda is if it is snowing or raining, you don't have to actually go outside and get too wet to tend to them. And there's some cows. We've got to have a look at some cows. But yeah, see, that's the top hay shed I was telling you about. You can just see the back of the water tank. My Cheeto Puffs plant has a ton of orange flowers. What on earth is a Cheeto Puffs plant? Okay. Jen's laughing. There's a joke happening and I'm not getting it. I'll go for a bit of a walk. It's not much of a walk because, like I said, I'm a bit headachy today. Lack of sleep will do that to you. Have a look at a few more cows. And then I think in about 10 minutes we might start to say our goodbyes. A few more cows here. You can see Dot better. Do you want me to call her over? Bonjour, Dot. Bonjour, Coco. Allez, la file. Here they come. Hello, girls. So this is Coco. That's Dot, the Jersey cow. This one here is Fiona. Hello, Storm. That's Blaze. That one there is Thunderhoof. That's Storm walking up. And then we got two little black and white ones here. So that one there is Penguin. And that one is Pickles. And then we have a little white one there. That's Tamara. And there's Panda again. No, Cheetos are universal. But in Australia, I suppose we love Twisties and... Yes, those two, Panda. Quite right. Twisties and Cheezels more. Twisties and Cheezels are very popular over here. Which one was eating your arm the other day? Oh, that was Thunderhoof, who is this one right here. She's the one that likes to charge at people, so you've got to be careful with her. And it's not because she's trying to be mean or scary. It's please don't sneeze on my camera. She likes to have fun. But of course, you've got to be careful with cows that like to have fun, because we're not big and solid like they are, and they can knock us over very easily. The amount of people I know that have been knocked over by a cow, it's not a pleasant thing, let me tell you. See some of the little calves there are coming over. It's Clover and White Thunder and Domino. Up there is the bull, Ernie. And Ernie is the father of the three cows, the three calves here. Maybe Thunderhoof needs a yoga ball. You know, it's funny you should say that, actually. That's not such a bad idea. Years ago, yes, that's quite right. See, they think it's a good idea too. But, oh, you've got some rain, Joshua. Well, that's good. I wouldn't mind a drop of... Okay, drop of rain. But years ago, when the kids were smaller, one of them had a basketball, and the basketball ended up with a hole in it, and so it couldn't be used anymore, and we threw it into the paddock that had the sheep in it. And I kid you not, the sheep loved playing with that basketball. They thought it was the best thing ever, and they'd spent ages running around pushing this basketball about the place, and I'd forgotten all about that, you know. So maybe what I need to do is go to the local op shop or something and try and buy a couple of balls and put one in with the sheep and put another one in with the cows, because I reckon they would love it. They would absolutely love it. Hello, Mrs. Paula. Welcome in, my dear. Today wasn't as gardening as I would have liked because I've got a headache. But we have had a little bit of a wander. We've had a look at some cows. Who is Jen in the chat, says Joshua. Well, that is Easy Street with Jen. Oh, well done, Panda. So yeah, we've had a little bit of a walk, and I showed people the cows. Not everyone who is here has seen our cows, because we're in a different day and a different time slot. So I thought it was worth bringing everyone out. We've had a look at the new spot, Paula, where we're going to put the new veggie garden, and we've had a look at some of the seeds and made a bit of a plan for, yes, that too, for what we're going to be planting. Oh, look, the calf's having a drink. Can I show that on YouTube? Probably can, can't I? So that is White Thunder having a drink from his mum. We'll get round this angle. You might be able to see a bit better. What are you doing? What are you doing? Tamara. Hey, hello. Yes, that's right. Thunderhoof has an unusual colour pattern. Yeah, a proper British white should look more like this one, or even this calf over here, or even that calf. A really, for me to register them, they need to be full white with, like this one here. So, do you see how it's got a black nose and black ears? That's your typical perfect British white cow. So if I wanted to sell this one, which I won't because it's a girl and I want to keep her for breeding, I would probably be able to make, you know, a little bit of money on her if I wanted to. Hello, Simple Family, welcome in. And then White Thunder here, this calf, I'm going to keep him as a full calf, as a full entire male. So he will be, yes, that's right, Thunderhoof. As long as he behaves. So you tell him he's got to behave. You can't end up like Panda, being an escape artist. But yeah, I've only got the one bull, and I think it's always good to have a second one just in case. And this young calf here, who's wagging its tail with happiness, will be my second bull calf, or my second bull eventually. Oi! What do you think you're doing? Get your head out of there. But look at that. See how they wag their tails like a dog when they're drinking? Because they're happy. They're all happy cows. But I think, folks, I might... Oh, hello, Brun. Welcome in. Welcome to our third Thursday afternoon live. It is developing into a gardening live, but we've sort of had a look at the garden space, and we've had a look at some seeds, and we've worked out what we're going to be planting for autumn. What are you going to be planting, Brun? Because I know you have a nice veggie garden where you are too, don't you? Oh, you've just finished mowing. Ooh, tomato sandwich. That doesn't sound so bad. And look, Brun, I know you love your cows. Brun loves cows. That's White Thunder, Brun. White Thunder is having a drink from Mum at the moment. Alexander says it's 11 p.m. here and I have to work tomorrow. All right, Alexander, well, thank you so much for coming in. I hope you sleep well, and I hope you have a wonderful and safe day tomorrow. Tomato sandwich does sound very nice, yes. But isn't that nice? Okay, so Brun says, I just did garden prep, planting cabbages, cabbages, cauliflower, spinach, radishes, and onions. Oh, that sounds good, Brun. Well, I was having a look. I'm going to be planting some cauliflower. I was saying that when COVID happened and the lockdowns happened, and I was trying to sort of grow everything that I could myself here on the property. But one thing I couldn't grow, of course, is rice. Yeah, I couldn't grow rice, but that was sort of when I started to discover cauliflower rice. So I grow a lot of cauliflower when I can, and I make cauliflower rice out of it. So I'm going to be planting cauliflowers and beets. Jen has talked me into trying parsnips again, even though I'm not very good with parsnips. We will be planting, gosh, peas, lots of lettuce, all sorts. I've got a big pile of seeds. So next Thursday, look, Brun. Hey, Clover. Hello, darling. Next Thursday, that's okay, Miss Em. Thank you for being here. Next Thursday, I am going to have some pots ready. And what we will do is we will start to plant some of these seeds in that little greenhouse and get them germinating. And by the time they're big enough to plant out, we should have the fence around the new veggie garden, and we should also have at least a couple of new veggie gardens set up. Hello, Aries World. Welcome in. See, everyone's coming in now. There's a cow. Oh, yes, please give the live a thumbs up if you could. I would really appreciate that. That would be really, really awesome. Oh, Miss Em. What is it? You got a cold or a flu or something, Miss Em? Alexander recommended wetting the seeds on top of the soil and then putting a board over them and check in a few days. Oh, okay. Okay. I wonder if that would work with parsnips, because as I said, parsnips and pumpkin too. Parsnips and pumpkin are two things I have no luck with growing. And I've tried planting pumpkin seeds in pots. I've tried planting them in the ground. I've tried buying punnets of pumpkins already started. I just can't get them to grow. And parsnips for me are just as difficult. I have a lot of trouble with parsnips. But I am going to grow some Swedes because I love making Cornish pasties. And you've got to have Swedes in Cornish pasties. Brun, I wet all my seeds on old tea towels and then cover another one with another wet cloth and plant out 2 days later. Okay. Okay. Well, it sounds like there's a theme going on here. So wet tea towel. Okay, I'm going to do it. I'm going to try. I've got nothing to lose and everything to gain. But my friends, I am going to call it. Oh, get composting worms. Lots of seeds pop up in my composting, especially squash. Ah, okay. Okay, all right. We're getting some good tips here. Thank you, Miss M. Thank you. Look, I would like to thank you all for coming in. I do apologise that we didn't get into the garden quite as much as we did last week. Last week we actually got some pruning done. But we did get to at least talk to the garden. We did at least get to look at the new garden space, and we talked about the plan for it going forward, and we've worked out what we're going to be planting next week. So next Thursday afternoon, or Wednesday night, if you're in the Northern Hemisphere, we will be planting some seeds. Theoretically, this Saturday, which is your Friday night, Saturdays I'm doing a live now as well. The idea is that on one Saturday I do a long form video, and then the alternate Saturday I do a live. The only thing is, I've had so many things going on this week, I haven't got the video ready. So this coming Saturday, I'm going to be doing another sit and sip in the kitchen live. And so how the routine is seeming to pan out is my Tuesday lives is the farm walk around. My Thursday lives are going to be in the garden, where we're supposed to actually be planting things and harvesting things and growing things and pruning things and all things gardening, basically, on a Thursday. And then on Saturday, my lives every second Saturday, I'm going to be doing a live called Around the Kitchen Table. And so basically it will be in the kitchen, and could be anything from doing the dishes to baking a tray of biscuits, baking a cake, cooking lunch for the afternoon. So it will be a indoor live on a Saturday. So, and that will work. It'll be like a long form video one Saturday and a live the next Saturday. And if for some reason I can't get the video up in time on a Saturday, I'll do a live instead. So Saturday mornings here, there will be something, either a live or a long form. So that's the plan going forward. But for the time being, I need to go inside and get a few things done, I reckon. So thank you everyone for joining me. I appreciate you being here very, very much. And if you haven't given it a thumbs up, please do. That would be really lovely. But I hope you all have a wonderful day. If you're here in Australia, if you're about to go to bed, I hope you have a wonderful night's sleep. Stay snug, because I know it's cold over there. And tomorrow, I hope you have a wonderful and safe day. And everyone, take care. Thank you so much for being here. Bye, everyone. We'll see you again soon. Take care. Bye-bye.